Here with Coach Johnson and Coach Hoffmann for the University of Minnesota Morris Cougars football program. They play Eureka this Saturday at noon, coming off their last game down in Missouri. Must be nice to be back at home and Big Cat Stadium. Looking forward to seeing you guys play this Saturday. Talk a little bit about Eureka and what you expect to see from them offensively and then also defensively.
Okay, you want to go, Coach?
From an offensive standpoint, this is a very good offense. They have some really good playmakers on it. They've rushed the ball for over 200 yards in the first two games, so it's a team that wants to establish the run. The quarterback is a good player for them, runs the show, does a lot with the ball in his hands. So they provide a lot of challenges. And from our standpoint, obviously we got to be disciplined, certainly in our gaps and our gapping responsibility and things like that. But also we got to be great tacklers. And the running back, Lee Anthony, is a very physical back, and so it's going to take more than one guy to bring that dude down. So we again just got to continue to do the things again that sound fundamental defense does, which is again running to the ball, stopping the run, and then obviously creating takeaways.
Yep. And from the defensive side of the ball, they're probably going to be the most aggressive team that will play all year. They've got their front seven matches up with anybody in the conference. In terms of, they've got 3 returning all-conference kids. The Zebert kid for them, number 83 or 85, depending on home or away, is a great ball player. He was actually up for Conference Player of the Year last year, defensively speaking, so he's back for us. Their middle linebacker, Chris Friend, actually is probably pound for pound their best defensive football player, and he got hurt. We're playing us last year, so that's why he didn't get accolades for it, but just a great ball player. And then on the back end, they've got a couple guys back there that can flat out play too. They play almost exclusively man coverage. They'll just lock down with defenders and try to beat you that way and bring in a little bit of pressure. But they're well disciplined. They're very well coached by Coach Bart there. So it'll be a test for us too. The biggest thing offensively is we have to continue to grow and develop and limit our mistakes. In our first 2 games, that's what's really hampered us. Lack of red zone execution, untimely turnovers. And turnovers are always bad, but when they occur at the points that they have, that's where it takes us and it makes it too much of an uphill battle for what we've got going on. Right now we're 1 for 6 in the red zone, for instance, this year. And those are the type of things that we just have to try and minimize as much as we can and put points on the board.
Staying on the offensive side of the ball a little bit, Coach Johnson, can you kind of talk about the growing pains and how you're trying to get your quarterback, Justin Molosky, ready to play
Yep.
and kind of his maturity as far as the game goes?
Yep. It's a work in progress, but the one thing I'll say about Justin, and it sounds cliche, but it won't be, is he works as hard as anybody on this team, if not harder. I mean, he and I meet every single day and watch practice film and watch game film and talk about what we can do versus this or what looks good into this front and things like that. So Justin's just being a warrior for us. Again, his biggest issue, and I have just harped on him over and over again, is about that sometimes it's okay to not have a play there, to throw the ball away. Try not to make that play that you can't make or that the situation doesn't present for it. So that's part of, as you said, kind of a growing pain, Coach. But the reality is we've just got to get him to overcome that. Because, again, from a pure skill set wise, Justin's phenomenal. He's a little sloppy with the ball right now. So some of that is a breakdown in protection or a breakdown on the edge that then he needs to understand, again, just live to play another day. Take a sack. I'd rather have that than turning it over, So that's been the process we've been going with. But, again, in terms of his work ethic and things, he's just diligent. The kid is an absolute real student to the game, and he's really working to continue to improve himself.
And then defensively, Coach Hoffmann, trying to stop their running game, defensively and add pressure to the quarterback that you touched on, without giving away your game plan. Is it going to be a lot of pressure or is it going to be a mixture of the two? And who defensively really needs to have a good game for you to keep the ship going in the right direction, so to speak?
We got to get a good performance from our D-line, obviously. Again, that's where everything starts, both in the run game and in the pass game. Those guys really got to have a great afternoon. Obviously the best coverage or the best pressure is the D-line. Being able to bring maybe just 4 as opposed to 5 or 6. And certainly we got to be choosy with when we do those. We have dial them up when we need to, but at the same time, we don't want to sit back and let this quarterback run wild on us either. We got to make sure we contain him in the pocket and do a good job there. And add extra head late or do whatever we got to do just to make sure we keep him in check. Because he'll hurt you with his legs, and those are always things defensively that are frustrating when you get everybody covered. And then he's able to break contain or can get stepped up or do whatever and escape, for a first down. So, obviously we got to contain him certainly in the pocket, and then in the run game, like I said, continue to just be great in our gaps, do our job, making sure we're executing, and then obviously at different situations change maybe how the blocking scheme needs to work for them and try to make it different and hard. So that's kind of the plan here moving into this one on Saturday.
And then can you talk a little bit about special teams and maybe where we might have an edge or where they might have an edge in the game on Saturday?
It's one area that we've continued to work hard and diligent with our guys at. Obviously, last week was a big disappointment. And we addressed those things, and hopefully we got those fixed here as we move forward. Certainly with a guy like Hoff, we certainly like our ability to kick the ball off and certainly get in the field goal range and those types of things. We can obviously gain an advantage, get some points down those red zone areas like Coach Jay was talking about. But again, they're a athletic group that they put out. The returners are pretty good. We got to make sure we're doing a great job in coverage, and we really emphasize this week in our punt coverage stuff. And same thing on punt return. Certainly we want to try to gain an advantage and get something going there. And then our kickoff return, we feel real good about our plan here coming into this week, and see if we can't get one loose this time.
Well, thanks, guys, and looking forward to seeing you guys get out and compete Saturday at noon at Big Cat Stadium, and go Cougs.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.